Retrace your steps, using the blood you have shed as the markers of your trail. Does the iron embedded within signify the strength of spirit lost over eras upon epochs of time? There is but one source upon which will and worth can become transfused. Location is a moot point. Equipment need not be utilized. As a son of Yisrael, the backtracking to this bank of barricaded brawn be only bound by bars, surrounding underestimated areas of this shrine called the brain, containing the altar that is the mind. The cobwebs reflect a morbid shade, but once exterminated, the gray does not matter. The quest for replenished nutrition requires no movement at all, but if obtained, you will be moved. This is the point of return, a return to peace felt by sleeping infants, and a return to knowledge that was never vanished nor appeared out of thin air. In the end, you will see that your pure soul has never been tainted, for you are still there to acknowledge its existence. Catapult the visions from third eyes onto a canvas draping the world. No regrets or mistakes to correct. All intentions will be flung forward. Flying paint exploding upon white, clouds resemble falling torpedoes. Fueled by hue, nuclear fission mocked when we brighten all definitions. Crevices, nooks, crannies, holes shellacked with our art attacking censorship. We repeal the laws of the dark box, confining absolute zero, void. Ciphering around the cyclical embellishment from fascism washed. Revisit the box of crayons used by fledgling poets with hoarse voices. Expanding rainbow, double vision, rubies, topaz, sapphires raining. Jasper falls following emerald, amethyst now precedes birth of chrome. Jewels now fuse, forming new perceptions, chimes blown by wind capturing the light. Sing me songs reminiscent of birds, tweeting in their network, flocking thought. Let them rise, double rainbow gleaming upon a world which was ravaged by war.
With only 2 words, I can make a statement so infuriating that it would get me into deep trouble. As a result of using these 2 words together, I could be subjected to ostracism, yelling, cursing, and assault. These retributions, however, are the lesser of all evils. Speaking these 2 words can be the catalyst for arrest, imprisonment, and execution. Uttering these 2 words might be grounds for mental instability. Surely they would not be taken seriously. One may wonder how this duet of conjoined characters I make reference to can be as offensive as I portray, especially after I mention that it contains no obscenities. This couplet of consonants and vowels is a sentence I use frequently. My colleagues and I have no qualms about saying them. In an ideal world, there would be no punishment in using these two words. In fact, one should be praised for their exclamation. Life would be more productive if we showed little fear in verbalizing the phrase, I disagree.
Within the pavement seeps my sorrow, through these cracks flow all my pain. All this guilt is hard to swallow, wishing tears be masked by rain, finding solace in the grayness, in reflections of the glass, broken into shards so heinous, hoping all of this will pass.
Is the sky still blue? This I ask of you. You're my friend, I trust you tell the truth. I've been looking down so long as I've walked along. The only thing I see is asphalt gray.
All my colors have been fading, left only with black and white, blending into hell, pervading. Heaven, please send me your light. Shut the portals of my sadness, stifle bouts of inner rage. Please, God, remove all my madness, give me guidance that is sage.
Concrete, pavement, stone, it's all I've come to know. Could someone tell me where'd my rainbows go? There's no colors anymore since you've closed the door and left me here alone with asphalt gray.
I need fortitude to hang on. I want freedom from the hurt. Don't want to ever be ranked on. Can't wear this grief on my shirt. My feet tread along this tightrope, hoping that this string is taut. From the silver I retain hope to rise up from the asphalt.
Is the sky still blue? This I ask of you. You're my friend, I trust you tell the truth. I've been looking down so long as I've walked along. The only thing I see is asphalt gray. The only thing I see is asphalt gray.
Fireworks are in my pocket, flammable and full of light. See them flash in my eye socket. Watch the embers take their flight. Body submerged into fire. Spirit soaring in the skies. Crisis of heart is not dire. Crisis of mind shortly dies. Feel love rising and emerging. Sunshine peeking through the clouds. We will finish all our searching. Our salvation has been found. No more outlooks that are jaded. No more prejudice and hate. Your facetious views have faded. Guaranteed. It's not too late. No more salt inside these wounds now. They will heal, and they will mend. Bands will play eclectic tunes now. This world has an ear to lend. Consciousness is most redeeming. No sense being comatose. Revolution is now beaming. To this I propose a toast. Praise to every god and goddess, deity and prophet too. You'll be praised for being modest. We will all be kind to you. You will see many new faces, silently mouthing your names. Tranquil nature covers bases with belief and without blame. Can you see a new world coming? All the gods merged into one. Can you feel the movement drumming as our world becomes more fun? Spirits above, please tell me now, is this dream even legit? Yes, my friend, you have shown us how you are paint on our palette. Mi corazón está quemado con el queroseno de la lujuria. El fuego de las estrellas deja sobre tus ojos. Cuando la luna da vueltas alrededor del mundo de nuestras mentes, tu boca y tus labios forman un trébol en mi sonrisa. Los diamantes enlazan con la mirada entre de nosotros. Tú y yo son las herraduras unidas a construir un nuevo del amor. Subidamos como los globos que preparando abrazar el cielo. El oro envuelva nos almas y conservarnos. Nuestro romanticismo colectivo es un arco iris con los colores que dibujarnos. Inmortal que la hora en el reloj de arena. Within the chambers of my heart, the surge of life begins to flow, embracing tints and shades of green, keeping pretenses in check. You may see me as a nut, but in sight will surely cook. I do not intend to spook, but I do intend to chart, navigating from this rut with the intention to grow, and I resolve to inspect, keeping all my ethics clean. With my wisdom I can glean, with my knowledge I can look. In the grand scheme I'm a speck of this vast galactic part. In this poem I can show that I heal the deepest cut. My eyes will never shut. I think you know what I mean. But my pupils will rest though. They've been trained without a book. Back and forth they choose to dart, like they did in retrospect. With some fists I have been decked, feeling it within my gut, leaking lifeblood by the quart. Amidst the wrath, I find my queen. When in love, I'm not a crook, nor armed with arrows or bows. My aura rainbows glow as I hold my head erect. A nod evolves after it shook. Compact temple, sacred hut. Nothing standing in between this new journey that I start. Your mind will cook, air bubbles flow. In your heart, you'll stay in check. From soup to nuts, you'll find the green.
Every 17 minutes someone feels alone. Every 17 minutes one can't find a home. Every 17 minutes cries go unanswered. Every 17 minutes depression feeds cancer. Every 17 minutes morbid letters are scribed. Every 17 minutes poisons are imbibed. Every 17 minutes voices scream inside brains. Every 17 minutes bullets validate pains. Every 17 minutes people give into rage. Every 17 minutes life becomes a collateral wage. Every 17 minutes veins are penetrated. Every 17 minutes wrist feel blades that are serrated. Every 17 minutes nooses are tightened. Every 17 minutes the bright light is whitened. Every 17 minutes drugs are ingested. Every 17 minutes perception is molested. Every 17 minutes skin and bones grow colder. Every 17 minutes stress weighs on shoulders. Every 17 minutes pain is too much to bear. Every 17 minutes someone wished that you cared.
It's ironic how lunar satellites are often feminine in nature, yet Venus bears none. Does she get intimidated by Mars, since he bears Phobos and Deimos, orbiting spheres symbolic of fear and terror? Love and war, bridged by the egoistic earth. Judaism cannot be constricted to a prismatic reflection. It is every nuance of polychromatic refraction. Strolling through the spectrum, stopping occasionally to touch the rays and watch as a lover descends from a ribbon wrapped in darker and lighter shades of skin tone. Nice Jewish girls arrive from analog multiverses, diverse as planetary atmospheres. Dive into the sea of tranquility, and with the rings of Saturn ye shall be wed. To the cosmic forces in the light that Aramaic scriptures evoke. Spots of crimson need not always represent filth, but the lifeblood insinuating that an oblate feminine cipher resembles the ova of stardust present within hexagrams, celestial representations resembling Israelite shields. Let us bathe within pools presenting piety, varieties of mitzvot within bubbles of soapy sacraments. Put your hand in this man's hand as he crushes the glass under his foot, for he strives to be happy with you as fortunes reverse towards rudimentary rotations of resilience.
Many struggle to scribble fear, the type that fizzes and erupts in the middle of ethereal vacuums, soon to be a miasma of molestation. In a dream I was homeless, attempting to stay warm within a basement, showcasing the vexations of vices. Bottles, lined like an army of illusion to drown the sadness. The only rule, make sure you drown with it, as you gasp for a drop of levity within the terrains. Then I spotted innocence, juxtaposing the yin and yang within melanin. He too struggles to escape from the trials of the relentless fury of frigidity. Within the basement I find relics, colors floating from paper, 8-bit rainbows floating around crowns, temporarily diluting the outskirts of limbo. The TV set plays animations of transformation, the kind that show the mechanical motions of robotics, sometimes interrupted by the terrors of conspicuous consumption. After all, the possessor of the most toys is victorious. If not one, then another, the other a decrepit man draped within envy, sleeping in the corner of this dilapidated dungeon, where the walls were the only way to escape the New York City streets. After all, they were guarded by retailers of false intimacy. Though I was tempted to escape the coldness of cruel climates, into kitchens with venereal ovens and stiletto foundations, I remained in the basement. The geezer in the green sheets woke up as I prodded him back into consciousness, asking him about his presence. He told me he needed to keep the boy company. The boy, 9 years old, homeless and unprotected, appeared to be the prey and eventual carrion of this vulture of the night. I immediately asked him if he was a pedophile. The glance he gave pierced through my face as he glared, nodding, smiling, plotting, scaring the fuck out of me. As I dialed the emergency number from an iPhone I still kept intact, I arose in the pool, interspersed with secretions of eyes and empty pores. I shivered like a lethal injection recipient, barely breathing through a weakened trachea. Turning on the radio and attempting to relax, as some nights I wake up witnessing demons dancing within my dementia.
Dismembered, membranes ripped apart at the seams, seemingly fragmented. Whether it's meant to be, only God knows. In flames we reside. Side by side our limbs rest in embers, flesh burning, ghosts of ground wars floating upon bones. Ectoplasm healing the wounds of the cases in which spirits used to lie. Ay, Dante, las bombas están llamado. Children and animals of the beloved, welded towards Hades, residing upon the remains of wrists and knuckles. 28 bombers took to the sky in April, leaving us and our bestial familiars to die. by their hands and explosives. Then I take to the teeming of the rain, awakening me from these horrors, knowing that the events of Guernica could happen domestically, and the hand that writes the poetry that cries for mercy will be separated from the forearm with pen still gripped.
Conformity, complacent, confusion crafted. Conformity, complacent, confusion crafted. Polygamy between corporate entities. Polygamy between corporate entities. Between corporate confusion, conformity crafted. Complacent entities. Polygamy. Amalgam dictated by fascist despots. Amalgam dictated by fascist despots. Gonorrhea of the bleeding heart. Gonorrhea of the bleeding heart. The bleeding despots dictated by heart. Fascist amalgam of gonorrhea. Speech impaired by removal of tongue. Speech impaired by removal of tongue. Protocol states that free thought is taboo. Protocol states that free thought is taboo. Tongue states that protocol impaired. Speech taboo by removal of free thought. Taboo dictated fascist gonorrhea between confusion. The protocol by that thought crafted entities of tongue impaired by complacent amalgam. Bleeding conformity states. Polygamy is corporate speech. Heart removal. Free despots.
Do not pigeonhole us with your labels. Do not pigeonhole us with your labels. Perceive us as those who choose freedom. Perceive us as those who choose freedom. Labels perceive us with your pigeonhole. Those who do not choose us as freedom. Sometimes unsure of genuine mutual respect. Sometimes unsure of genuine mutual respect. If words are golden, let them glimmer. If words are golden, let them glimmer. Unsure if genuine words are of respect. Sometimes mutual golden glimmer, let them. Observing baggage left overhead. Observing baggage left overhead. Carrying on is not an option. Carrying on is not an option. Baggage carrying is left an option. Observing not on overhead. Labels pigeonhole who respect. Observing is sometimes unsure of glimmer. Choose us as mutual option. Left not with them, if genuine. Let those not perceive us. Are your words carrying them? Do an overhead on golden baggage.
I am on the other end of a string between aluminum alloys shaped like that which connects us without the inconvenience of angles. They say love can make us united and whole as prolactic elixir, catalyzed by unconditional caring above all egotistical desires. Yet we rarely discover interlocking fragments of crimson muscles fitting around souls like habits encasing wives of God. It may last years to discover true love, for poets aim to crack the code that unlocks the safe that bears the stone. It glows like a prism, streaming a matrix of alphanumeric paths, scribed vertically within texts often taken literally. Scan your ego, determining whether it is possible to accept and espouse love, parting the curtains of manipulation. Reciprocity shall vibrate as I straddle the string in unison with you, keeping relations taut. Tight as a mutual embrace, second only to the affection of saints, for when needs are neglected within a bond, it will fuse like ions. Crystals forming multilateral facets that refract clarity, possessed only by us,
infusing the clean lesion left by the ego.
As a Jewish citizen of the planet, I did not plan it. It being the singular sensation of anti-Semitic vibrations, castration of morality, emphasized mortality of the 6 million locked into slavery. No Sarah McLachlan to advocate against this depravity. I am a man without a nation, no national pride built within my creation for the formation of exclusion, manufactured the illusion of solidarity, all the while planning a mass fatality against my people and my brethren. Taste of heaven amongst the aristocracy, override democracy, make a mockery of the ones by the underpass, condemn the plight of the working class. These are the ways of the master, the ones that plaster prejudice against the genocide disaster, amplified faster are the promises of blood libel, claiming we are heathens of the Bible, Pharisees, fornicating fallacies, ornate are the maladies attributed to orthodoxy, proxy of the longest hatred, the strongest wanted us wasted, denying us the space to breathe, to watch, rage, seethe. We were born as an ethnicity rarely in the vicinity of national divinity, infinity of ignorance invigorated, our rights refrigerated as the carcasses were gassed. The great lie lies in the lie, inspiring us to cry, hoping this oppression dies. Catastrophic is the dirge we purge from spaces that digest, faces that molest. Thin mustaches praise the ashes, swastika infecting the masses, demagoguery thick as molasses. Patriotism is a hating metamorphism to imprison us to think in uniformity. This wretched conformity to massacred deformity, dormant and complacent, formerly adjacent to the base. Chase away the demons of division, ejaculate the semen with precision, the kind that allows us to bind and multiply, find and quantify the population, and cure the constipation of agitation for the entire nation. I close this summation with a motivation for change, within the range of possibility. The probability might be nil, but the void we fill, will, the will, until peace arrives, not derived from a banner, but with a scanner of light. Bright as scholars, we holler for love from above the clouds, shrouds cloaking us, provoking us to speak, for we were once meek, and now blessed, as we inherit the earth, showing every nation what Jews are worth. There is no feeling right now. Lost is a sense of spirit, bringing forth vitality. These words run rampant as a rant resurfaces through a ravine of religions. Engaged are the battle of insignias. There are no victors, only bloodshed, under the guise of piety, under the fallacy that sacrifice is surely a savior from sacrilege. Haunting is the upheaval of the celestial symbols. I stand nearby, waiting desperately for a theological truce to transpire, and for our trusty abstract friends. The star, the cross, the moon, the swirls, the monk, among others. To serve as our lucky charms, rather than charm us out of luck. The gods have surely run amok. Still I wait, sitting, tucked away in a dark corner, awaiting that feeling, the sound that lets me know that there is a God. I weep at the wonder of our wandering sense of scruples settled in seminaries. In true form, we would emulate the canonized, appreciate the imprisoned, reinforce the roaring of vengeance, as blood-curdling screams of terror overstep the boundary, bringing forth orgasmic yells. In reality, we are all saints, we are all prisoners, we are all avengers deep down inside, hoping for goodness in the recesses of our cages,
fighting for those less fortunate. Ourselves, mostly and usually, sometimes as ourselves, other times under a banner of faith. There is no telling when the war of supreme worlds woven with serene words will resolve. Surely I listen to litanies of love, empowered by elite outlooks, aiming to objectify other vessels of organized omnipotence. More and more, my mind manifests machinations of magic molested by the ministry of the media, mass murderers of individuality, multifaceted masquerades of empowerment, a mainstream melee played out between the ornaments. All the while, religions realize the reincarnation of their roots, while the trunks take blows to their hearts. Yellow stars, bastardized by movie stars, climbing trees of life, ignoring tenets and testaments spanning millennia, but now Judaism is trivia. I now await the day when my descendants are referred to as practitioners of the faith, formerly known as Judaism and currently known as Kabbalah, ideals containing logic taking the shape of a mandala. Affirm your beliefs, share your ideas. Take traditions to the tunnels of your trachea, so you may truly feel the spirit once one aims to cut you where the pain is most intense. I don't know what to interpret as truth anymore. All I have is a sense of respect for my fellow man. I believe in my lineage, my ancestors untimely ripped from this earth. My faith lies within the stars, foreshadowing the establishment of the blue and white banner I wave with pride. Most importantly, I believe in the pen.
Cognitive thinking takes a vacation during my retreat. Everything around me is vague as the smoke reaches its maximum opacity. Or is the word opaqueness? Anyway, it doesn't really matter because I feel fine. Just a few more hits off of Bottle Billy and it'll all be good. For Bottle Billy beats all bongs, bowls, and blunts when it comes to getting buzzed. Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going? Where am I going? Where the fuck am I, man? And why are the words of Edgar Allan Poe embracing my consciousness? Quote the raven nevermore, quote the raven nevermore, quote the raven nevermore, quote the raven nevermore, quote the... Dude! Don't you make me shove 20 lit cigarettes in your asshole, man. Here, have some more of this Buddha. That's a funny word, man. Buddha, 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 hey. Buddha sounds like butter. I could use a bagel with some butter, man. But I can't get up, for the leprechauns are holding me down so they may use my face as a urinal, man. Shit, nah, I gotta pee.
Pardon me while I float towards the facilities. Hey, where's the light? Come to think of it, man, where's the floor? Oh, that's right. Here's the light. And there is no floor, man. Damn. That light sure is red. Roxanne, please turn off this motherfucking red light. Oh, good, man. It's dimming. Thanks, Roxanne. Wait, there's no dimmer in this room. It's just my eyelids getting...
Imagine us lounging and dancing within the sanctuaries of vivid blacklight shadows. They gleam from crowns, dunning the royal responsibilities of rapture. Our conversations center around hedonism, the pure desire to abandon sanctities, adulterate the pavement, fluids, flowing, flowery fragrances. The locale remains unclear, for we could roam the urban sphere every midnight on every Saturday. Either way, blacklight afterglows paint the town violet, rosy cheeks capture the darkness, two lips quivering in the night, whistling effortlessly as zephyrs slide between the purse and the shivering, inducing, shimmering. As soon as our eyes blink, the lounge changes shape and color. We are transported with every iteration between lashes that whip one another, flagellating the rods and cones, caressing colors. Newsprint may fly through atmospheres, jump cutting to new scenarios. Parties parked, pavements, each crack in the sidewalk encouraging pitfalls between the shallowest of puddles. Reckless abandon becomes a way of life, raving with the wafting of the smoke, pervading the olfactory hairs, hooking into the optic nerves as vines link the pupils and plant irises in our lobes, whether protected by gray matter or dermal layers.
Allow me to add my 2 cents to the situation. In return, I would like you to subtract the rhetoric that exits your lips and assist me in keeping the visions from multiplying. Before I go off on a tangent, let me tell you about the problem I have evaluated. You see, it seems as if every move you make is calculated. I have tried to mind my P's and Q's regarding this issue, but I cannot help myself from arriving at the solution that your ego-induced pollution is planned out like a logic proof, or an algebraic matrix, or a quadratic equation, or a mathematical locomotive. From day one, I was able to graph the main points in my brain to the axes labeled X and Y. X signifies your attempts to censor others. Y, because you can. My rage is the product of your strategy to further an agenda. It is merely a fraction of this anger being portrayed. That's right, just a percentage. Your position on the number scale of aggravation cannot be located with mortal eyes. It stretches out to an infinite number of miles. There is no final integer. You see, a range of things bother and depress me, and my mood not only swings like a pendulum and a grandfather clock, but also descends and ascends like a parabola. Therefore, I must dig within my brain and use prior knowledge obtained to plot a path across the map on the way to a poem marked with the black X. For the most part, I think I do a damn good job at getting from A to B without the help of a tutor. I'm comfortable with what I know, and I embrace it. Whatever knowledge I may lack is on me, but I know that you don't know squat if you think you know what little I know. You think I care? Hell no! I mean not for this writing to encompass a circular argument, but like a 180-degree angle. Let's get something straight and settle this score. I am neither a letter nor a number nor a remedial student. I am just a man with a voice that some may consider noise that triggers violent waves. That is my right. Aren't we supposed to be equal? Shouldn't symbols resembling more than and less than not be applied or be crossed out? Can't we eliminate all unnecessary variables, all unnecessary formulas, all unnecessary postulates, all unnecessary theorems? All unnecessary programs, diagrams, anagrams, acrostics, diagnostics, cross multiples. This long division has gone on for too long, repeating multiple times like 1/3 written as a decimal. Statistics do not reject this claim, although some want it to be a syntax error, or want to believe that I forgot to carry the 2 in my calculation. But the remainder of my tolerance hangs by an unraveling thread. I proudly sign my name on this thesis, and my colleagues would proudly co-sign, given that they possess research on this behavior. So, we pooled our data together. We share a very reciprocal relationship, however. It does not take Fibonacci or Pascal or Apollonius or Euclid or Euler or Eratosthenes or Archimedes or Maimonides or Gematria or even the Nation of Islam to deduce this verbal dilemma. Your calculations are wrong. The atmosphere provided is negative. The agenda cannot be defined, for it does not compute. Not by any means, not by any modes, not by any standard deviation. So tell me, how do you like them applications?
On a blank canvas, I intend to leave a trademark before I even envision what shall be superimposed on its white surface. Only I may prime it, only I may paint it, only I may sign it. Nobody else may touch it, for it shall only resist repossession. Paint from other brushes shall drip off my canvas without a trace of prior existence. Knives cannot penetrate the foundation of this future frame bearer. For I provide the strength that resists damage. No tear can destroy my blank canvas. No apparatus can aid one in infringing on my concepts. No currency, whether the form be that of coin, paper, brick, or oil, can dictate the direction of my depiction, or pick the pigments of my palette. My supplies are financed from within my cauldron of creativity, a prosperous source of wealth, taking the form of ideas that only I may collect and combine. Outside influences are welcome, so long as they do not dominate or distract me from my initial impetus. Independence and individual freedom are the main media for the manifestation that started as a blank canvas.
Branches bear blood connected to the navel of nature, from Valencia to Jaffa. Seeds of labor and peace scatter through the grass. Pry open the fruit, and you will see no section is superior. Every section is equal. If only the world was an orange, with all divisions united under one thick skin.
I watched attentively as your sensuality starts to percolate. You are now nice and hot. I want to put some cream into you, stirring it in deeply. Your spirit is light. Your demeanor is sweet. Your essence is strong. Sometimes I like to whip the cream, adding some sugary goodness to the mix. For these gentle gestures make all the difference. You make me rise. You make me shine. You make me smile. I engulf myself within your pool of flesh, felicity, for you make me jittery. I ricochet off walls just thinking about you. You put a sparkle in my eyes as I taste you, swishing you around in my mouth. Pupils dilate with delight. Cranial neurons shimmy. Muscles tighten as the last drop is consumed. You are definitely the best part of waking up. Brain-racked, burdened back, whacked by the treacherous trinity of illness, unemployment, and death. I craved a sweeter existence, insolent now the enemy, brazen like the hideous bitch at my job, whom I avoided like rotten shellfish. So I walked away, letting the rest of them burn within cauldron simmering broths of belligerence and hostility. But then I learned of your death. With blood invaded and destroyed as alcohol became your Enola Gay, fat man with scared little boy trapped within a vessel of inner torture. To this day, I seek an oasis, trying my damnedest not to look back in anger, all the while wishing I could scream, "Don't go away," as if it would resurrect you from the dirt and the marble. Some days I want to yell stanzas of sorrow, spitting in the eyes of the saints I illustrated over and over, and some days I admittedly wish it was me, sometimes feeling like admitting myself to a heavenly hospital where I would be drugged out of my fucking mind from the ether with eyes bulging from beneath my brain. Other days I want to live, spiting the hell out of those shooting stigma from slingshots, pilfering laundry from the grief I tried desperately to submerge into soap. But the cleansers were as effective as water used on Lady Macbeth's guilty hands. But I will not let myself die in Shakespearean tradition and honor. The bard I embody thrives upon felicity, yet I remain armed with concealed wit, dissolving under my tongue and spreading from taste bud to taste bud. Enamel from my front teeth fade, translucent as the texture of wax paper. My smile has aged and become decrepit. Your loss of vitality dissected my being. Never cried the moment you passed, but my face lately burns as it is scorched with saline, seeping into sores, seated upon the mountains of embossed oily skin. Moods swinging like promiscuous, classless hipsters, injecting shit into carotid arteries. Security is shaky, though I am more social. Exhausted by the apathy for the aiding of the ailing, altruism will be rendered extinct, if only you cared to ask the question, why? The slime will ensnare every time one gives up, and every time one exhales the Z from an atrophied epiglottis. Awaiting the storm, to awaken the graves, while summoning spirits of ancestral braves, a lips formed by hearts that connect to the poles, hopefully filling the large gaping holes, metaphors crafted through old parlor games, meaning to distract us from hurricanes, avalanche pending upon the cold front, packing a wallop of force that is blunt. Rain never written of due to cliché, no likeness to tears or looming disarray, awaiting the storm to awaken the graves, while summoning spirits of ancestral braves, a lips formed by hearts that connect to the poles, hopefully filling the large gaping holes. If love can move mountains, then why not the storms, ramming through arcane societal norms? Do not want to see this as dogma divine, watching the world as it makes its decline. Into the water and fire succeeds, no telling if ever a demon bleeds. For artists have wounds that take ages to clot, as much time as it takes our welfare to rot, awaiting the storm to awaken the graves, while summoning spirits of ancestral braves. Metaphors crafted through old parlor games, meaning to distract us from hurricanes. Sandy's her name, do not wear it out, never underestimate her fierce clout. Still knowing not whether she will blow us down, or telling if our population will drown, while thunder and lightning deplete all our juice. To heaven we may make the ultimate truce. I look out my window surmising the worst, but torrents of rain will never quench my thirst, awaiting the storm to awaken the graves, while summoning spirits of ancestral braves. I sit here and ponder the end of destruction, awaiting the coming of newfound corruption, surrounded by nothing but stillness and black, no lights to be found from around subway tracks. Sandy has ruptured foundations to cope, with seas flooding tunnels, with winds eroding hope. Blinded by absence of virtues and truth, sleep will not unlock the mysteries I sleuth. No power within the transformers or sockets, nothing to do but dig hands into pockets. I sit here and ponder the end of destruction, awaiting the coming of newfound corruption. Surrounded by nothing but stillness and black, no lights to be found from around subway tracks. As I write this, the light from the screen I am using makes up for the lack of electrical fusing. The rubber now swims along streets that bore signs. Amenities drown and remain left behind. Politicos posture and use this as leverage to further careers while they sip a tall beverage. But bubbles not only form from their glass flutes, but also from spit that we use to refute. I sit here and ponder the end of destruction, awaiting the coming of newfound corruption. Sandy has ruptured foundations to cope, with seas flooding tunnels, with winds eroding hope. We wait for the currents to connect and to fuse, to bring us our light, and to end the abuse. The candles I light mourn the loss of a city. Metropolis sleeps under blankets of pity. Try to remain strong are the words I repeat. The prayers I recite are no longer discreet. It is now 9 p.m. and I still cannot slumber. Even with lack of light, time remains just a number. I sit here and ponder the end of destruction, awaiting the coming of newfound corruption.